Alright, future cabin crew, you have now chosen your airline or the airlines you plan to apply to. You understand their vision, mission, values, and the candidate profile they are looking for. You also started building your confidence using the tools I introduced, allowing you to fully align with the role without fear or self-doubt. Now it's time to bring everything together. Your CV is what opens the door to the next stage of the recruitment process. So in this module, I will guide you step by step through creating a CV that is aligned with the airline or airlines you're targeting and is aligned with the specific role you're applying for. So now, please open your editable CV template that I prepared for you, and let's start building your CV together. And please remember, when applying to multiple airlines, each application requires a tailored CV. Future cabin crew, just to make sure that we're on the same page, please make sure to open your editable CV template that I provided, and let's start crafting it. Let's start with perfect structure, because one of the biggest mistakes candidates make is assuming that recruiters read the CV the way we read books, carefully and line by line. But they don't. In reality, recruiters usually spend only a few seconds on each CV, and it's not because they don't care, but because they review hundreds of applications daily. And in those few seconds, they are subconsciously asking, is this CV easy to scan? Does it look professional and organized? Does this person understand the role? Do I see relevant experience or transferable skills? Does this feel like someone I could imagine representing the airline? They are looking for clarity and alignment here. If your CV feels overwhelming, crowded, confusing, it creates friction, and friction often leads to a quick skip, even if you have this experience, even if you have the skills and everything is good from your side. But on the other hand, when a CV feels calm, structured, and intentional, it builds trust immediately. And when recruiters trust your CV, they are much more likely to want to meet you in person. Let's begin with something very important, which is perfect structure. A strong CV, cabin crew CV, is not long, not detailed, not complicated. It is clear, focused, and easy to read. Recruiters should be able to look at your CV and immediately understand who you are, what you have done, and why you are relevant for this role. That's why, future cabin crew, your CV should be one page only. Now let's talk about the layout. As you can see in your editable CV template, there is a two-column layout. Why? Because it allows information to be organized clearly without feeling crowded. So typically, left column is for a photo, personal details, skills, languages, education, and the right is for profile summary, work experience, optionally work experience as well. This layout helps recruiters scan your CV naturally from top to the bottom. Now, please take a look at the labeled sections such as contact, education, skills, languages, work experience. Clear headings guide the recruiter's eye and they make your CV very easy to navigate. These are the essential sections your CV should always include, along with a short profile summary placed under your full name. If you still have space on your one-page CV, you might also add relevant volunteer experience, certifications, courses, or interests, as long as they support the cabin crew role, as long as they are relevant. Now, white space is your friend, future cabin crew. It allows your CV to breathe and makes it easier to read at the first glance. Crowded CVs feel overwhelming, and that's the opposite of what airlines look for in cabin crew. A calm layout reflects a calm mindset, so please choose simple, professional fonts such as Arial, Calibri, Helvetica, or Open Sans, and avoid decorative or overly stylized fonts. When it comes to colors, keep them elegant, keep them professional. You may add accent colors inspired by the airline's branding, of course, or just stick to neutral tones like black, dark gray, or navy with a single accent in the airline's color. Just make sure all text and elements are aligned. Your CV should always reflect professionalism. And if you choose to use the CV template I've prepared, that's great, it's already set up correctly. If you decide to make small adjustments, just keep these guidelines in mind and follow them consistently. Let's talk about the photo, because this is often the very first thing recruiters notice, sometimes even before they start reading, before they read a single word. This is not about looking perfect or model like future cabin crew. It's about looking approachable, professional, and composed. For airlines based in the Middle East, your photo carries even more weight, because these airlines place a very high value on professional presentation, grooming standards, a polished, well put together appearance. It doesn't mean you need to look a certain way, and of course, it means you need to show that you understand and respect their standards. Your photo should reflect elegance, neatness, and of course, confidence. How to take a strong CV photo? Ideally, your photo should be taken in a professional studio, as this provides high quality, proper lighting, posture guidance, and of course a clean, neutral background. You can also use this opportunity to prepare photos for the next stage, the application process. If you take one passport-size photo and one full-length photo in business attire, based on my experience with several Middle Eastern airlines, you will likely be well prepared for the initial stages of the recruitment process. And when taking photos in a studio, photographers usually provide you with digital copies, which are perfect to attach to your CV and online applications later. You will see examples, of course, of the ideal photos in the next few slides. If you prefer to take your photos at home, you can still achieve a professional result by using natural light, choosing a plain neutral background, using a tripod to keep the camera steady at the eye level, or just asking someone to help you take your photos, and of course using a high quality camera or reliable AI photo tools designed specifically for professional CV photos. The most important thing is that the final image looks realistic, natural, and professional, never overly edited or artificial future cabin crew. This approach ensures your photo reflects the calm, the polished, and the calm, polished presence airlines look for. Now let's talk about attire, grooming, and presentation. Choose professional attire that reflects the airline environment. Elegant and well-fitted attire, ideally an elegant blouse with a blazer, neutral, elegant colors such as black and white, nothing casual, nothing flashy or distracting. For ladies, for Middle Eastern airlines in particular, grooming standards are very, very, very important. Makeup should be polished but natural, enhancing your features without appearing heavy. Hair should be neat, tidy, and well controlled. A low bun is recommended for medium to long hair. Short hair should be styled smoothly in a neat bob, kept off the face. That's the rule, kept off the face. And the jewelry should be minimal. For gents, presentation should be equally polished and professional. Wear a well-fitted suit, stick to neutral, classic colors. Grooming should be immaculate. Hair should be neatly styled and well-maintained. Facial hair, if worn, should be clean, tidy, and well-groomed or removed in line with airline standards. Your appearance should be aligned as closely as possible with airlines' grooming standards. Now let's talk about expression, posture, and energy. Good posture is essential. Shoulders relaxed, head upright. It instantly communicates confidence and composure. Your expression should be warm and welcoming. A gentle, natural smile is ideal. Think of this moment as embodying the person who will soon welcome passengers on board, making them feel safe, comfortable, and cared for. So before taking your photo, ask yourself, is this how I would like to greet a passenger on board? If the answer is yes, you're aligned. And now, here are the examples of passport-size photo, CV photo, and full-length photo. You can see the expression, you can see the posture, You can see the attire as well as the makeup and facial hair, everything. So please stick to these examples and you will have a perfect photos. Now let's start tailoring your CV together, starting from left-hand side. Photo. If you already have your professional photo, please include it here. If not, simply leave the space empty and add the photo once it's ready. When it comes to contact information here, please include your phone number, including country code, email address and location, city and country. And below that, you should also include your date of birth and your nationality. If there is space after all the required elements are added here, you might also include your height, your weight, your BMI. There's no need to include your marital status, your religion, or other personal details, future cabin crew. Professionalism comes from knowing what matters and what doesn't. And now skills. Skills must be relevant, not generic. Only include skills that are important for the cabin crew role, such as excellent communication skills, strong English skills, customer service orientation, adaptability, flexibility, cultural awareness, cultural sensitivity, empathy, ability to work well under pressure, teamwork and collaboration, attention to detail. Please avoid listing skills that are not relevant to this role, such as driving license or any sport achievements like black belt in karate, because airlines are looking for a cabin crew, remember, not for driver, not for martial artist. So please stick to relevant skills. Avoid words like friendly, positive, or hardworking, because these are not skills, they are only opinions. Languages. Here list languages you speak, indicating your proficiency level. Use simple and professional descriptions such as native for your mother tongue, fluent, and fluent. Remember, this is minimum English level required when applying to Middle Eastern Airlines. Conversational and basic. For example, Polish, native in my case, English, fluent. And the Middle Eastern Airlines, they don't require or they don't commonly use CFR levels, which we know in Europe, for example, A1 to C2. So it is perfectly acceptable and fine to use these terms instead, like native, fluent, and what I introduced. And please always be honest about the level you list, because your language skills might be assessed during the interview. And now, let's talk about education. List only your highest completed education. Include the degree, the institution, location, and graduation date. There is no need to list every single school you have ever attended. Airlines usually ask you only for your highest education certificate. So for example, if you have your diploma, if you graduated from the university, this is the example. When you have completed degree, follow this example, please. Bachelor degrees in Business Administration, University of Warsaw, Warsaw, Poland, September 2019. If you're still studying, Business Administration, University of Warsaw, Warsaw, Poland, September 2019 until present. Because you don't have a diploma yet, so it's fine just to write like this. Or if you haven't started university, which is totally fine, future cabin crew, high school diploma, and here, high school name, Warsaw, Poland, location, and September 2019 graduation date. Once you have completed the left side of your CV, we move on to the right-hand side, where you present the key information that captures the recruiter's attention. Let's start with your full name. Use your full name exactly as it appears on a passport. This ensures consistency across all application documents and the airline system. Then motto. This is optional but recommended. Short, memorable one-liner that reflects your personality and aligns with the airline's values. And trust me, it can make a very strong first impression. For example, dedicated to representing Qatar Airways with excellence, or bringing hospitality to new heights, or a natural team player with a personality that shines. If you've done your research, you already know some of these slogans. And now, about you. This section is your opportunity to summarize why you are the ideal candidate for the cabin crew role. It is often the very first thing recruiters read, so it should immediately make a strong impression. Focus on your experience in customer service, hospitality, or aviation, and highlight the key skills you have developed that are most valued and relevant for a cabin crew role, such as excellent communication, teamwork, collaboration, ability to perform well under pressure, adaptability, cultural sensitivity, cultural awareness, and so on. And conclude your summary by expressing your enthusiasm for contributing to the airline's continued growth, success, or airline's mission. And now, the perfect formula. A dedicated, hear your background professional with number of years of experience in, let's say, fast-paced or multicultural environments, and then known for 2 key skills, motivated to bring your strengths here to airline name and contribute to airline's continued growth. Here's the example, it will be easier for you to understand. A dedicated customer service and hospitality professional with over 7 years of experience in fast-paced environments, known for an empathetic approach, strong communication skills, and the ability to thrive in multicultural teams. Passionate about delivering exceptional customer experiences, I'm eager to bring my professionalism, warmth, and calm presence to XYZ airline and contribute to its continued growth. This is the perfect example of your summary of a short brief about you. Either professional summary clearly answers these three questions. Who am I professionally? What skills and experience do I bring to this role? How can the airline benefit? Then you've done it right. I will tell you about your work experience in the next video. The next video is fully dedicated to this section, and this is where most candidates either stand out or get overlooked. It's very important to understand what recruiters are looking for. They are looking for evidence, they are looking for proof that you are passionate about taking care of others, that you have a positive impact and you bring value to your workplace, and of course you possess the key skills highlighted in your skills section, as well as short summary about you. Before we move on to describing your work experience, let's first talk about how to properly structure the work experience section. Each role should include the following elements: job title, start and end dates or present if you currently work there, company name, location including city and country, and short job descriptions written as in bullet points. To keep your CV clear and easy to scan, please follow this structure: job title, start date, end date or present, company name, location here, and then job description. Here I want to highlight that the order and the relevance of your roles matter. When it comes to the first one, the order, please start with your most recent role. Then work backwards, because recruiters, they care most about who you are now, not who you were years ago. And relevance is just as important. Only include roles that are relevant to the cabin crew position. If you have held many different roles, many different jobs, prioritize those that align more closely with customer service, hospitality, or aviation. You don't need to include every job you have ever had, but only those that demonstrate the skills required for this role. To give you a personal example, when I first applied to Emirates, I focused on my experience working in the law office, rather than, of course, my roles as a waitress, as a shop assistant, or as a hostess. I truly believe that having a legal background would be more impressive and give me, of course, an advantage. But in reality, it was not relevant and I faced rejection. But later on, when I drastically shortened the description of my legal background and I highlighted the roles I held while I was a student, such as a waitress, hostess, shop assistant, my CV began to be accepted for every single assessment day I applied for with the airlines I truly aspired to join at that time. So again, the key is to focus on what matters to the recruiter, not what feels impressive to you. Now let's talk about how to actually write your job descriptions. Most candidates describe their jobs like bartender served drinks and beverages, customer service agent answered for phone calls, shop assistant assisted with purchases, waitress cleaned tables and served food, nurse distributed medications and worked with the team. These bullet points don't work well because they only cover the tasks. Tasks are very obvious and only describe what you did. They don't show how you work, they don't show how you added value, how customers or company benefited. Recruiters cannot imagine you interacting with passengers based on them. As a result, these bullets are easy to overlook, even if your experience itself is very strong. To write strong descriptions, don't just list tasks. Expand each bullet to show the value you add and the behaviors you demonstrated. For example, instead of served customers, write down delivered an attentive and professional dining experience in fast-paced environment, ensuring customers felt valued and welcomed. Instead of answered calls, write down handled inbound calls with clear communication, providing accurate information and resolving customer inquiries with empathy and care. Instead of worked in a team, collaborated effectively with team members to ensure smooth daily operations and consistent service standards. Instead of cleaned tables, write down maintain high standards of cleanliness and hygiene in accordance with company procedures and safety guidelines. Instead of distributed medications, write down safely assisted with medication distribution in line with established procedures, ensuring patients felt safe and well cared for. I'm sure you can see the difference now. The key rule to remember is that every bullet point should help the recruiter understand how you worked with people, how you made customers feel, how you handled responsibility or followed procedures, how you contributed positively to the environment. If a bullet point doesn't answer any of these questions, please remove it or rewrite it. Focus only on achievements and actions that showcase your suitability for a cabin crew role. This is very important. And now let me show you strong bullet point examples from different industries written exactly the way airlines want to see them. Each one shows your approach, the value you bring, the positive impact on customers, not task. Let's start with hospitality. Delivered attentive and personalized guest service in a fast-paced environment, maintaining poise and professionalism even during peak hours. Handled guest complaints with calmness, empathy, and efficiency, ensuring satisfaction while protecting and enhancing brand reputation. Adapted communication style to guests from diverse cultural backgrounds, creating a welcoming, inclusive, and memorable experience. Maintain strict hygiene, safety, and service standards, consistently ensuring a polished and seamless environment. Retail. Delivered personalized customer service in a high-traffic retail environment, consistently exceeding sales and service targets. Handled customer concerns with empathy and solution-focused communication, turning challenges into positive brand experiences. Adapted approach to customers from different cultures and age groups, ensuring every client felt valued and understood. Maintain impeccable store presentation, stock accuracy, and hygiene standards in line with brand guidelines. Corporate. Provided professional front desk service, welcoming clients and visitors while representing the company's image and values, manage multiple priorities under pressure, remaining calm, organized, and detail-oriented in a fast-paced environment. communicate it clearly with international clients and internal teams, ensuring smooth daily operations, followed strict procedures for confidentiality, safety, and workplace standards. Please remember that you can stop video anytime you want and slow down, write down, craft your CV at your own pace. Let's talk about healthcare now. Supported patients with empathy and professionalism, creating a calm and reassuring environment in high-stress situations. Managed appointments, patient flow, and urgent requests while maintaining accuracy and discretion. Communicated effectively with people from diverse backgrounds, including those experiencing discomfort or anxiety. Follow strict hygiene, safety, and compliance protocols to ensure patient well-being at all times. Aviation. Delivered exceptional passenger service in a dynamic airport environment or onboard environment, ensuring comfort, clarity, and confidence for travelers. Assisted passengers with special needs, delays, disruptions, resolving issues with calmness and care. Worked in multicultural teams, adapting communication to passengers from around the world, followed safety, security, and service procedures precisely to maintain operational excellence. Now, based on the examples provided, you know how to write strong value-focused job descriptions. There is one more important piece we need to talk about to make sure you will really take the job description the way I explained seriously. Let's talk about the keywords. You may have heard about ATS systems before, but I want to explain this in a very simple and practical way without overcomplicating it. Most airlines use applicant tracking systems, ATS, to pre-screen CVs before a recruiter even sees them. This system scans CVs for specific keywords related to the cabin crew role, of course. That means keywords matter, but how you use them matters even more. ATS systems are designed to identify whether your experience matches the role requirements. For cabin crew, they commonly scan for keywords, of course, related to customer service, hospitality, communication, teamwork, collaboration, conflict resolution, complaint handling, adaptability, flexibility, attention to detail, safety awareness, working in a fast-paced environment, and professionalism. And when these words appear naturally in your CV, it signals relevance. Some candidates list keywords like this: skills, customer service, communication, teamwork, professionalism, adaptability. And of course, while this is correct way to write your skill sections, as I showed before, it's not enough on its own to pass through the system. ATS systems prefer to see keywords in context inside your job description, inside your work experience bullet points, where they describe real behavior and the real situations. That's why instead of listing keywords alone, only in the skill sections, you should include them naturally into sentences that demonstrate how you actually work, just as I showed in the previous slides. And now, if you're currently writing your job descriptions or if you have already written them, take a moment to check whether they are both ATS friendly and recruiter friendly. To ensure they are, please use this simple universal formula which works across different industries. Action plus approach plus people and impact. For example, handle guest complaints with calmness, empathy, and efficiency, ensuring satisfaction while protecting and enhancing brand reputation. That's how you write a strong job description. Let's quickly go over the optional elements you can include in your CV if there is still space after adding all the essential sections, of course, remember, on your one-page CV. Certifications and training. If you have space ideally below the education section, you can include any relevant certifications such as CPR, first aid, aviation safety training in customer service, hospitality, conflict resolution, or airline-specific services, because of course these certifications can strengthen your CV and showcase your additional skills. Please follow the format below and include the institution name, certificate or course title, and of course date of the issue. If applicable, you may also add the validity or expiry date, just like here. CPR and First Aid Certification, International Red Cross, issued March 2024, valid until March 2026. If you don't hold any certificates and you still have a space under your education section, you can include interests, hobbies, but please make sure to include only interests and hobbies that support your future role as a cabin crew. For example, team sports, because it demonstrates teamwork and collaboration. Traveling, because of course it shows cultural awareness and adaptability. Swimming, because it indicates confidence in the water and personal fitness. If none of your hobbies are directly relevant, you can include, instead of your hobbies and interests, you can include a section called Additional Information. And in this section, you can highlight points that support your eligibility and readiness for the role, such as no visible tattoos or scars, willingness to relocate to airline's base location, meeting all requirements for visa, work visa eligibility. Willing to relocate, so no visible tattoos or scars, willing to relocate to the airline's base location, and meeting all the requirements for visa work eligibility. Perfect. And now let's talk about volunteer experience, because it can be very valuable on your cabin crew CV, especially if you have limited work experience, for example, or you want to fill a gap, or you have this space after you put all the essential elements. So where to place it? Ideally, place volunteer experience section under your work experience section and treat it with the same professionalism as paid work. This is another opportunity to showcase your skills, your attitude, your approach to working with others. How to write? Here again, use the same structure and bullet point formula as work experience. So first, action plus approach plus people plus impact. Community support volunteer, May 2024, October 2025. Local community organization Warsaw, Poland, and then supported community members with empathy and clear communication, creating a welcoming environment, assisted with organizing activities while working collaboratively with volunteers and coordinators. Now let's quickly talk about employment gaps and short-term roles. Employment gaps are common future cabin crew. You don't need to worry about it. I know that so many amazing future cabin crew, amazing candidates are worried, afraid about employment gaps or short-term roles. But remember, when presented clearly and professionally, they demonstrate intention, not weakness. So you don't have to worry. If you have a gap of 6 months or longer, please briefly explain it in a positive and very straightforward way without over-explaining and over-complicating things. For example, October 2023, July 2025, university studies. April 2024, June 2025, volunteer experience. January 2025, October 2025, comprehensive Pilates instructor training. Again, there is no need to over-explain. Keep descriptions concise, focus on learning, personal growth, or skill development. Handled correctly, future cabin crew. Again, gaps demonstrate intention, not weakness. If you have held short-term contracts under 6 months, it's important to provide brief context, because this helps recruiters understand the nature of the job and of course prevents assumptions about your job instability. Transparency builds trust, future cabin crew always. You can clarify short duration by adding terms such as short-term contract, fixed-term contract, seasonal role, temporary position, project-based role, or covering maternity leave or sick leave. For example, customer service agent, seasonal role, cabin crew, fixed-term contract, hospitality hostess, temporary position, retail associate, short-term contract. Providing this context shows professionalism and clarity, and you don't need to over-explain, just state the type of contract, and trust me, it will help avoid raising any concerns from recruiters about your job stability. How to save your CV. Since you're probably using the editable CV template I prepared for you in Canva, I want to guide you through how to save it correctly so it's ready for airline applications. Final check before downloading Future Cabin Crew is essential. Before you download your CV, please pause and please check. All text is correct and updated, spelling and grammar are accurate, dates are consistent, your photo is clear and well positioned, your CV fits on one page only, and then zoom out, look at it as the recruiters would. How to download from Canva. Right now, after you check everything is perfect, once it's ready, click Share in the top right corner, select Download, choose File type PDF Standard, select the page number where your CV is, and then click Download. Please avoid downloading as image, stick to PDF. File name is very important because before or downloading, of course, you should definitely rename your file using a clear professional format. Be professional, and your professionalism starts way before you enter the interview. So, first name, last name, cabin crew, CV, PDF. This shows organization, attention to detail, qualities airlines truly value. And after downloading, please open the PDF, check formatting, ensure nothing shifted or cut off, and confirm it still looks clean and readable. The final check is very important. Here's the advice. Duplicate your Canva file and use it as a master copy. Because based on the CV that you've just crafted, you can easily prepare tailored versions for different airlines without starting from scratch. You just need to change few things, for example, airline name, if you put it into short summary about you, that you would like to contribute, for example, to Emirates continued growth, then of course you have to change the name of the airline and maybe colors if you, for example, add red accent while applying to Emirates, for example, while crafting your CV to Emirates. Of course, change this red accent to different color if you want to apply to, let's say, Qatar Airways. Remember, small thoughtful adjustments make a big difference. Your CV is ready, future cabin crew, and most importantly, you are ready to apply with a confidence. In the next module, we will move into the application stage where everything we've prepared starts to come together. Take a breath, you're moving forward, and you're doing really great.